this was the site of my last tryst, my last encounter with a member of the opposite sex. It's very classy, right? Freaking Crown Motor Inn, I think Crown Motor Lodge they used to call it. Now I don't know what it's called now. They have like multiple names here. Crown Motor Inn, Crown Motel. I don't know. We were in that room. This is a woman I've known for like 17 years. This was entirely her idea. I did not see it. I did not anticipate this or see it coming. But like I said, known her for like 17 years. This is sort of a notorious motel. It's famous for its hourly rates. And I remember one of our first conversations we ever had, I told her about this place, and I said that it has hourly rates, and she's like, what does that mean? And I said, it's just for hookups, and it caters to the quickie crowd, I guess. And she didn't believe me. And now here we are 17 years later, and she booked a room for us for 4 hours. And it was a lot of fun, and made me even forget about the fact that there's a payphone outside. She, from the moment we met, all she talks about is sex. It's just nonstop. All she wants to talk about is sex. Specifically, her detailed play-by-play account of whatever her last encounter was, and I'm fine with it. I'm happy to hear it. I don't reciprocate. I don't like to talk about specific details of things, and in her case, it's for the best because she would know who I'm talking about. I don't know who all these guys that she hooks up with are. I have no idea who they are. I don't care. But we were talking online. And she just it was just all engines blazing, I guess. And she's like, "Let's do it. I'll cover everything. I'll cover the costs, and just meet me there at 4:00 on Friday." This was the day after Thanksgiving, so I guess it's only been a month. I was going to say it'd been longer than that, but it was a memorable experience. Let's just leave it at that. But she's a lot of fun. I think I already said this. I talked to her yesterday, and we're probably never going to do this again, but it was just something. It was something we had to do. Anyway, this is I forget who owned this one, or if it was even obvious. Yeah, I don't know. The fine print is too small for me to read right now. This might have been a Underdog phone, or it might have been Telelink. I don't know. Who cares? It's been dead for a long time. But anyway, like I said, I did not anticipate this encounter that we had here, and I'm glad it happened and everything, but my last involvement with a woman this year ended in, there I go again. I have no concept of what day it is, what year it is, forget about the details. I think that ended back in May. It was during the summer. And I was just looking forward to taking the rest of the year off in that realm, but what do you know, right? Life is full of surprises. Oh wow, this one looks like somebody tried to dislodge it or something. Well, maybe not. It looked different than I remembered, but maybe that's how it was. This was a Nitel, which was owned by somebody named Cyrus. That's all I know. This is Elmhurst. I got so wound up in my story about the Crown Motel, I forgot to put a card on that phone. the Po Ban restaurant, or Po Bank, or Po Bang. Yeah, this one's a beauty. It's on Broadway in Elmhurst. Just a couple of blocks from the last one, outside the Vietnamese place. Most of this phone is covered up by this sign, but this other one next to it might be used in my friend's art project. This is the ideal subject, the ideal setup, because he can just drop his phone in here doesn't have to pry out the existing one. So this might be, in that respect, this is a perfect location. But this handset is awesome. Looks like somebody torched it. I don't know if that's going to be visible, but this is a big fat lie, right? Evidently there used to be payphones somewhere around here, but everything's covered up enough that I can't be certain exactly what spot, or if they were over here for that matter. Oh well. So this is the famous Baxter Street location, where, as has happened in the past, somebody set up shop here and hung their wares on the phone. The abandoned clamshell, that is. I'm not going to get too close to this. I don't want to draw the vendor's attention. But it's still there. Fit into the link machines is that they fit nice and snug, and they cover the camera. They cover up the camera that people think is a spy device that monitors every face that comes by. So that's a win for some people, at least. this is the famous Jackson Heights phone that I played a part in getting fixed, but not long after it got fixed, it was decommissioned. Go figure, right? There are 3 other phones at this is a huge subway station. There are 3 other payphones here, but none of them work, and they're all behind the turnstile. You have to pay a fare to get at them. But oh, look at this. Somebody stuck a Metro card on the wall. Most recognizable object in New York, they say. Let's see if there's anything on it. Strange place to stick a Metro card. Seven-day insufficient fare. Big surprise. Anyway, yeah, there are 3 other phones in this huge subway station, but you gotta pay a fare to get at them. This sucker's dead and it's not coming back. Feels like I just stole something. This kid in the laundromat was just totally staring at me as I masked up and entered the place. I do get a little nervous barging into places like that with no real business. But it's a laundromat, nobody really cares. And if I remember right, there's another one up ahead. This is the 69th Street station. 7 train.
Number 1, mask up still required, even if you're vaccinated. Mask up and stay safe in Europe.
There used to be one on the other side too. The 61st Street Woodside, where the subway connects to LIRR. think there's one other one over here. I don't remember if there are any behind the turnstile. There's a sign for old TTY. That's a lie. But there is this one. Looks like somebody might have tried to use it. Failed miserably. I think it was yesterday, I was talking about what I've been calling my blue radio, or my blue voicemail, or my blue something, my blue telephone project. Which emulates the old payphone radio thing, except that I'm not using payphones anymore because I can't. So it gives me a lot more time to talk, which is not necessarily a good thing. In fact, it's certifiably not a good thing. But it hasn't been lost on me that these calls that I make are can be patently obscene. And that's in the spirit of things, because I'm fantasizing and exploring thoughts that honestly are kind of frightening to know that they come out of my head. But it hasn't been lost on me that I could potentially dial the wrong number, and without listening to the recorded greeting, I could just unwittingly leave one of these patently obscene messages on the voicemail of somebody who called me earlier. Doesn't seem likely, but I mean, it doesn't seem like I could let that happen unless I get drunk or something, but that's probably not going to happen. I mean, I don't think I've made any calls while under the influence. Nevertheless, it is a scary possibility that I could leave one of my demented fantasy messages on the voicemail box of somebody that I know or somebody that I don't know. It doesn't matter. So yesterday, I was leaving one of these messages, and it was hardly the worst of its kind. I was talking about chicken bones, and a time I was doing this, I was up on the Queens Boulevard bridge when I did this, and I was remembering a time I walked the length of the bridge, and there were chicken bones scattered all across the span from the beginning to the end. Every 5 or 6 feet there'd be chicken bones, just a lot of them. And it reminded me that my thought pattern that day went toward cremation, and when I saw these chicken bones, I thought they were kind of sensuous and earthy and real. And I thought somebody laid them out like this as some kind of sacrifice, or as to make some kind of statement. I don't know if that's true or not, or if it's hard to imagine how somebody could accidentally leave such a quantity of those things. But anyway, it just had me. I wrote this fantasy story about being cremated and having my bones and remains, but not like fully cremated, but just like chopped up and sliced up into pieces. And I want my bones and everything to be scattered across the Queensboro Bridge. And there's absolutely no truth to this, but it just sounded like a good idea. So that's what I was talking about. And yesterday, so after I was getting ready to hang up, when I looked at the phone, and there was the name of this person, one of the last people in the world I ever want to hear from again, was calling me. There's this dude, I just don't want anything to do with him anymore. He does not know how strongly I feel about this, but it doesn't matter, because he doesn't matter to me anymore. We've meant a lot to each other over the years, but it doesn't matter anymore. So as I'm getting ready to hang up the phone and send this voicemail about chopping me up into pieces and scattering my bones across the Queensboro, I look at the phone and I see the name of this person that I don't want to hear from, and I'm like, did I call this person? Am I leaving this message on his voicemail? And in the moment of uncertainty, I believed that was entirely possible, but then I quickly realized that he was just calling while I happened to be making my bizarro call. But there was that moment of panic where I'm like, well, at least I'm not leaving a message about, fantasizing about murdering somebody. Anyway, I was able to avoid actually talking directly to that person, and that's fine with me. That is probably the last I'm ever going to hear from him. I hope. We can hope, right? Now, this is another one that might be part of my friend's project, because there's no phone to extract, although these things make things a little complicated. There'd be a couple of padlocks on here, and this thing was like a fortress. This one has dandruff. What's this? Oh, I thought that was some kind of dildo. This phone will probably not be part of the project, though. It's just not a very good location, unfortunately, despite the promising look of the thing. This is on Broadway at 59th Street, 5902. I've always liked this sign. I think I said earlier there was going to be another laundromat with an old dead phone in it, but I think I just spaced out on it. And look at this, it's finally gone. This was the Rogue Payphone on this used to be the Sports Authority. This was, I think about 5 years ago now. I was just walking along this street, and I saw, off in the distance, I saw a new payphone, and I could not believe what I was seeing. And it turned out to be installed, not exactly illegally, but it wasn't sanctioned either, because the Sports Authority had closed and this lot was just basically abandoned. But it was a satellite phone, and turns out I'm friends with the guy who put it up. He's the same guy who owns the Doomsday Payphone. I just wrote to him to ask him if, how does somebody do this? How does somebody set up a phone like this? And he's like, I'll tell you how, because that's my phone. And he seemed surprised and offended that I was taking notice of this. I think he was worried I was going to write about it on my website or something, which I did, but I didn't disclose the location, and now it can be told. This is Broadway and Northern Boulevard. What is this anyway? Like a 3 or 4-way intersection? Quagmire of traffic. Anyway, it's finally gone. He said it cost him $8 a month to operate it, and was making him $3 a day. So that's a pretty good investment. It's a good spot because it's right by this busy subway station and a bus stop, and it's just a very central spot. But he gave up on it a long time ago. This lot was supposed to be, I guess they're finally doing this. They're going to bulldoze the whole thing and build a new school here. But he left his phone, and I'm guessing that they tore it down and just threw it out. Probably still had some money in it. Anyway, that was supposed to be the last phone on today's tour, but this is what we got. By the way, this had been a COVID testing site, and on account of that, the plan for building the new school got delayed by, I guess, a couple of years. Looks like that's finally underway. I guess that's what's happening. Yeah, they tore down the building already. Wow. That Sports Authority had an old, I believe it was the Davel brand payphone. Davel, I think. But I guess they got rid of that a long time ago. So yeah, this is going to be the site of a new school. But I can't tell you how crazy it felt to be walking along this route and see a brand new payphone installed in the year 2015 or 16, I don't know. But like I said, it was, the dude saw an opportunity when he saw that. It was an empty clamshell that had been left behind by Telebeam. And the dude saw an opportunity to just stick his satellite phone in there and make a few bucks a day. So, but I think he finally just gave up. The phone hadn't worked in probably a couple of years. Anyway, this is going to be the site of a new, I forget if it was a grade school or a high school. That's right, I always forget about this one. Outside of the liquor store.